Okay, good evening, members, and welcome to this session, this 5 p.m. session. We are looking at Zoom, and in the morning we discussed Mr. Sebunya actually took us through some quick introduction about Zoom, and we have come back this evening to look at more advanced features of Zoom and get to know the best practices of handling learners on Zoom. There are a number of challenges. We are going to be going into a breakout session to discuss and share some experiences. And then you will come back and you share what you have discussed there in the session. So we are going to be discussing some of those experiences, and then we shall be coming to harmonize. Now, this was the session, the presentation by Mr. Moses in the morning, and normally there are some members who attend only the evening, but we are not going to go much into that. We are just going to give a quick recap of that, and then we shall be delving into the best practices, how do you set up Zoom, and also we shall discuss about pricing, and we shall be comparing with Google Meet, which is another alternative for doing online lessons. Why not use Google Meet? Should I use Google Meet or should I use Zoom? So we are going to be discussing all those options there. Okay, so in the morning, Moses told us about joining a Zoom meeting, and he also told us about when you are joining a Zoom meeting, if it has not yet started, you have to wait. And also he told us about registering. He took us through the process of registering on Zoom and also scheduling a meeting. So those are some of the things that we discussed earlier on in the morning. Yeah, so we are also going to be looking at these recommended Zoom settings. These ones here, we are going to be looking at them later on. Yeah, but before we went, we have an assignment that was given. There's an assignment which was given on Google Classroom. If you are not on Google Classroom, there is some task that was given to us on Google Classroom. So when you go to Google Classroom, this is the class code. If you don't have it, there's a class code there. And we have been sending the invitation in the WhatsApp group and also in the chat. If you are not yet there, please, you go to the chat and the Google Classroom and you join. So you go to classwork. There is an assignment. There are 2 assignments so far. There is an assignment which was given yesterday about to Google Forms. Only 5 people have handed in out of 180 in the class, and 6 have been marked. Then for Zoom assignment, 7 have already handed in. You are supposed to create a Zoom, an account, and schedule a meeting, test some of the things, take some screenshots, and submit. So yeah, that was the assignment that was given, to just create a Zoom account, schedule a meeting, and take some screenshots. How do you take screenshots? Some of the members may not be knowing how to create screenshots. You can create screenshots. You can using a tool known as, if you're using a computer, you can use a tool called the screen clipping. If you're using Windows, screen snipping tool. You can use the snipping tool. So you can open the snipping tool. It is you can use it to take a screenshot on the computer. So I can click on this new, and then I take it, okay, it was in this mode of, yeah, so I click on new, and then in the mode of window snip or rectangular snip, then you snip a particular part. So then this part, you can save it as a picture, and then you add it into, and then you can be able to save it on the computer as a screenshot. Yeah, so you try to do that. If you're using a phone, normally Android phones have how you can take a screenshot. You can be able to take a screenshot using by pressing some buttons here. There is an option of getting a screenshot. So let us try to do that. You can also get an app which can help you to take those screenshots. Some phones, it is just in the options here. So let us be trying to do these assignments here. Okay, so we are going to be discussing more about the issues of Zoom. So before we continue, I want to, Moses, maybe you can, Moses is on. Actually, I was giving this introduction as Moses was coming on. Yeah, so Moses is on. Moses is the one who was handling this session. Yeah, so regarding this assignment, Moses, are the people who have handed in, are they doing the right thing, or you have some more information for them?
Yes, some people have tried doing it. However, to some people, it is a little lacking. Sky event and then show something. But other people have instead created PowerPoints. I've seen one person.
Okay.
But some of them are really doing the right thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can see here a number of them. Shiba has handed in. George, I can see here we can be able to see the work that you have handed in, and we can even assign you marks here. Yeah, so that is great work. Okay. Now, before we go to the breakaway sessions, we are going to watch some video here showing how to control a Zoom class. How to control a Zoom class. Let us try to watch it. Then after that, we shall go to the breakaway sessions to discuss the best practices that you can use. So let us first look at this video here. So the video is going to be, we have a video for phone and also a video for desktop. Maybe let me start by showing the one of phone here.
Recording in progress. In progress. In progress.
Okay, so okay, maybe let me just stop because we may not be able to hear the audio very well here. Yeah, but I'm going to be talking as you see this demonstration. So when you schedule a meeting in the morning, we looked at scheduling a meeting. So when you schedule a meeting, you'll get a meeting, a link. And that link, once you touch it on phone, it is going to open your Zoom app. So if you already have the Zoom app, we looked at how you can install the Zoom app. So there is this option of joining with the Wi-Fi or cellular data. So you should always ensure that you touch it. If you don't touch it, for example, if you see here, I've not touched it, it doesn't show the microphone up there. So you have to touch it, and then that microphone will become active. Yeah, so you make sure that you do that. Then after that, there is an option for video. If you turn on video, you'll be able to, your camera will be able to show you, and you can switch the camera to see the table. There is that part at the top where there is a part for camera, so that one you should know. Then after that, there are some options here. This is the participants list. That is the third button. Here, this is where the participants will appear for your meeting. So as a host, you can be able to see all the participants, and there are a number of options. For example, if another person joins for this meeting, and you can be able to tap. When you tap on that person's name, you'll see many options there. There is an option for making him a host, making him a co-host. You can rename him. Some learners come with wrong names, so you can be able to rename him. You can be able to see a number of options here that you can be able to do. You can ask him to unmute. If it's a learner, you want him to put up a hand. So to speak, maybe he has put up a hand. You can make him a co-host. So in this case, I've made this one a co-host. Now, if it is a fellow teacher who has joined the session, it's good to make him a co-host. For example, you are two teachers. One is helping us, the admin, and another one is the delivering. So you can be able to make him a co-host. Then there is also this part of chatting. When you touch the name of the person, there's an option of chat. So once you touch it, you can be able to chat with him. So maybe you're harmonizing with the teacher before he can share the screen. So making him a co-host will allow him to share. You can also rename that person so that learners can understand that this one is a teacher. Instead of that person just being called the Rogers, learners need to know that this is a teacher, and for you are the admin, and the other is a teacher, so that they can be able to understand exactly what to do. Okay, so those are some of the things that they have to do there regarding the participants list, making sure that everything is set up well. Okay. Now, there is an option of mute all. Mute all in case the learners are making noise. This button down there, you can sit down. It has an option of mute all. So you should be able to you can use it and make sure that now, for example, if Moses joins the group like that, he can come when he's having background noise. So you may have to mute him, or you may decide to remove him from the meeting. There are options for removing all. So if you, for example, I'm going to select Moses and I put him. I can put him in the waiting room. Putting him in the waiting room, that is also another option there. There is the removing, and then there's putting in waiting room. So if I put him in the waiting room, he goes out, and then you can readmit him later. Waiting room is an area where the person is kept temporarily before he can be inside the session. So that is those controls. You should be really conversant with all those options when you are handling learners. Some of us are using phones, so you should be able to do all these things using a phone and also using a computer. Now, we also have what called security, where we have more options. When you click on more options, there is an option for recording. You can be able to turn on recording when you want to turn on recording. And these videos, it's always good to record as a session so that you can send them to the learner. Those ones who are not able to attend the lesson, they can be able to get the recording. The recording is normally kept in the Zoom account. There's some storage given to you when you have a paid Zoom account. Yeah, so you can always get the link. Now, this part of security is what is very important. The first option of lock meeting is in case these are the total number of students that you expect in this meeting. You can lock the meeting so that no one else joins. But if you think more learners are coming, then you should not lock the meeting. Yeah, just like in physical classes, sometimes after 30 minutes, we close the class and we say no one should join. Now, when you're using a phone, be careful. Some of your messages may come in like WhatsApp messages, and learners will see your messages as a teacher. So you may have to disable notifications. If you're using a phone, you may have to disable notifications so that your messages and sensitive information is not displayed to the learners. So that is one thing that you should do, take note of. Yeah, so we have this part of allowing participants. There is this part of chat. We have been meeting this challenge when we are handling some of the classes. Some learners some of these teenagers are very difficult. So you may have to make it that the learners can only chat with the hosts. When a learner wants to chat, has any problem, chats with the host. Otherwise, if you leave it with everyone, some learners will come in and they post distracting messages. So you can turn the chat that it is only chatting with hosts and co-hosts. Then you allow them you turn off their video. The learners should not turn on their videos. We have seen some learners in places where they turn on their video and they are bare chest, and other learners just scrolling through the messages of those through the photos instead of attending to the class. Yeah, so you should be able to look at all those options there under the meeting settings. Okay, then also we have more options here known as the meeting options. You can be able to edit the meeting name. If it was called test meeting, you can rename it well. If it is an English lesson, you can turn on that part of mute upon entry. You turn it on so that when someone comes with a noisy background, that noise does not distract the class. Yeah, so then also these other options here, you can leave them as they are there. Okay, so those are some of the options. There's also other options here like YouTube. If you want to stream to YouTube, you can touch on that. YouTube, it will open a browser and you log in with your Gmail and you select the YouTube channel, just like we are streaming right now. So it will be able to select the YouTube channel, and then the videos will go to YouTube. And you can be able to make it public or private. If you want your videos not to be seen by other people, you make them private, so that only you can be able to see them. Yeah, so the mobile app here has then the part of sharing screen. The number of people were asking about sharing. So you can share many things. You can share a camera. You can share, for example, here, if I say I want to share depends on what you want to share. So you may want to share a document or a slide. You should have it already on the phone, and then you should be able to use that part to share your work accordingly. So these are some of the few things here that we were demonstrating on this particular app. Now, there are many others that maybe I may not have talked about here. You can be able to, we are going to be able to discuss more of these. What are some of the key things that you have to make sure that you handle when you are using when you are managing a presentation using a phone? Okay, I think that is the last demonstration there, which there was something here about sharing. I think it didn't come here. Okay, so yeah, so one of the main things I've said is that you should be careful when you are using your phone, that learners don't see other things that you don't want them to see. Yeah, so there's this part. Let me just maybe wind up with this part of sharing. So here it is in sharing mode. So if I want to share my work, I can open there are many apps for slides. So for me, I have an app called the Slides. It is an app by Google. I installed it. You can install it. It's known as Slides. So that's where all my slides are. So I keep all my slides there. I don't keep them on the phone. So if I want to present this, I just touch that particular presentation. So these slides, it keeps all the slides under Google Drive. We shall be looking at Google Drive. So this phone here, I'm ready to start presenting. if I want to start presenting, I will have to go to, I come here and I do rotate, I make sure that I rotate my phone. And then it can allow me to go to the other mode, and then I press the play button here. So it is going to start presenting now using iSeat. This is a presentation we use when we are training the teachers of the new curriculum in Chisiki. So I start presenting. So I'm using a phone, but you can be able to see my presentation very well, and I can be able to proceed. And actually, some of the teachers who are handling the learners in the current program of e-classes are using the phones. So even with the phone, you can fully manage a Zoom class. You can control and do each and everything that you may want to control. Now, let me just briefly share with you. Let me just briefly share with you this other part. In case you are doing it on, a computer. Let me just share with you this part as well, in case you are sharing using a computer. So I don't know whether you're able to see the screen now. So this one here is a lesson that I recorded earlier on. I'm going to be showing you how to manage a class. There is a live. So this is a lesson which was going on for English by teacher Lawrence. So he has spotlighted himself and his presentation. So the part of live on YouTube is also there. I told you it is on phone, but it's also there. You can turn it on and then you stream your presentation on YouTube when you want. So you can be able to stream that. That is important to back up. So you can select the channel. When you go to YouTube, it will ask you the channel you want to broadcast, and then you put there the name, and then you'll be able to go live, and your presentation will be live on your school account. So we shall be looking more about YouTube. Then when a teacher calls, when you want to make a colleague a co-host, also you can select the person's name and you make him a co-host, so that you manage the class together. Then that is one thing. Then also the other thing also, I think this one we have looked at it for streaming. The other thing also that is here that you have to know is that we have a lot of participants. You should have your participants list open, and also the chat at the bottom. You should be able to have those options there open. So you should be able to be following what the teacher is doing, and make sure that if the learner's hand is put up, you should be able to get the name of that learner, search for the learner, and help in unmuting that particular learner, so that the teacher the learner can be able to speak. You should also be able to use the search at the top, because the teacher, so if it is John, you click on ask to unmute. You click on ask to unmute, so that the other side, John, you will get a prompt, and then John will be able to speak to the teacher. Yeah, so that is one of the things you have to do. So because the teacher is asking a question and is asking John, so you should be able to search for that learner very fast, and then you unmute. Then you can also enable learners to unmute themselves. If you want them maybe to have some interaction for some time, you can, if you enable learners to unmute themselves, then all of them will can unmute, but they may start making a lot of noise, and it may cause a lot of, so you should be able to, if you allow them, after some time, you disable like that. So you have to make sure that the lesson is orderly. Here, the chat is enabled. They can rename themselves. They cannot start video. Yeah, so that is then we have some options down here. The other one of allowing learners to chat with everyone, or to chat with hosts and co-hosts. That one is at the bottom here, at the side where there is a chat area. So that is where the option for allowing the learners to chat with them, with the colleagues are. Yeah, so you have to make sure that the learners don't disorganize the lesson, and make sure that there is order in the lesson. Yeah, so there are also other options here. So you should be able to explore these 3 dots below the participants list, and also you can pop out this list of learners if you want to see it full. So then you'll be able to see more options here. And if you can be able to scroll through, and then you see how many have raised up their hand, and you can mute all, you can lower hands, you can be able to get to know all these options here. If you want to take it back, you merge it back to the window, and it goes back where it was. So that's how you click. You can pop it out and pop it back to where it is supposed to be as you manage that particular Zoom session. Yeah, so we have things like the things of annotations. I'm also going to be telling you more about them. Some learners disorganize the teacher. When the teacher is teaching, they annotate on the screen. So you should know how to disable that, and it's only the teacher to annotate. Yeah, I'm going to be showing you that also as we proceed. So you can see like this learner is typing this May in the chat. So, but these messages are only coming to the host. So even if the learner posts this distracting message, the other learners are shielded from that kind of chaos. It's only the host who is seeing the messages. The rest of the learners are concentrating on the class. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we are really bringing out in this particular session. Then the security tab here is very important. You should not forget to be taking note of the security tab. That's where we have a lot of things here, like enable waiting room, allow learners to start, to turn on their video, and all those things. So as a person who is managing a class, there should always be someone helping the teacher. The teacher cannot be able to do all this. The teacher cannot be able to do all this and at the same time teach. There should be an admin who is really restless, making sure that everything is going on well, and making sure that the lesson is proceeding very well. So you should be able to take note of those items. Then finally, I'm going to go to show you something about the default settings that you are supposed to set when you are scheduling a meeting. There are some default settings here in your Zoom account. So when you go to your Zoom, when you log into your Zoom, you will find this part which has the word settings. So let me hide these floating meeting controls. So you'll find this part which has the word settings here on your Zoom account. So under settings, there are a lot of things that you're supposed to set when you are in your account, so that you have soft life the other side when you are having a meeting. And those are the things that I'm ending with here. Yeah, so there are some things like waiting room if you want to turn it on by default, the passcode, but there are some particular items which I want us to look at. This part of start meeting with the host video, you can turn off. These are default, by default. You can turn them on later, but you can set them by default in the settings. There's this part of computer audio, this one here. So you set to computer audio, because most of the SIs, this one will either be the phone or the computer. We have very few people who use telephone to dial in to the classes. So you can use that you can put that particular setting. Then we have the other setting which is very important here is the setting of chat. You can also make that setting to be the setting here by default, that learners can only chat with hosts and co-hosts. Yeah, so you can set that by default so that the learners the admin does not have to be doing it every time whenever he's on call. So you can be able to set that accordingly. So allow learners, yeah, then there is something to do with annotations. There is something to do with co-host here. This part of co-host, you enable co-host facility. If you don't enable it, then your Zoom will not allow you to make other co-hosts of the meeting. So you make sure that you turn on that as well. You can turn on the meeting surveys and the polls. Who can share? You can set this to only the host so that the other participants don't share things to distract the learners. So then we have this part of annotation. Annotation is also very important. You should allow saving this part. Only the user who is sharing can annotate this one. This part, only the user who is sharing can annotate. If you allow every user, they will start playing with the computer screen during the session. So you should only allow only the teacher to annotate during the meeting. Yeah, so basically, those are some of the things. The breakout room, you enable it. So these settings here, you have to pass through all of them and make sure that by default, your meetings are secure. You can allow the live stream and make sure that everything, the emojis, if you don't want them to disable them. So all the things are there. And then finally down, there is this part of scheduling privilege. If you want other people to schedule for you, you can put them there in that particular setting here. So basically that is also when you do those settings well, you can now be able to schedule your meetings well. They showed us yesterday in the morning how to schedule a meeting. You should be able to schedule and always put an alternative host down here when you're scheduling a meeting. Always put an alternative host. An alternative host is another person who can start the meeting in case you get a problem. For example, you have a lesson for SST at 2 and your phone falls into water or you get a problem. If you never set an alternative host, it means that lesson is going to be delayed. But if you put here, your other colleagues who have Zoom paid accounts, who have a licensed account, they can be able to support you in making sure that you have your meeting to start. Okay, so I think that is all for the demonstration, both on phone and mobile. I don't know whether it was audible. Yeah, so we are going to now get from the members, to hear from the members, what are the other, maybe they will be sharing some experiences. So I'm going to, we are going to enable, we want to test some of the features here on this. So we are going to have, some, okay, Moses, maybe, yes, I wanted us to have some breakout session and first discuss in breakout for like 5 minutes and then come from the breakouts and then come from the breakouts and then share what we have discussed. That's what I wanted us to do so that we can be able to really fully utilize the features here. So Moses, you can enable there because I'm seeing you are the host. You can enable, we are 97, so you can enable 10 breakout sessions. And then, yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to enable here 10 breakout rooms and you will be able to join a breakout room. You are going to discuss what are some of the key things that you have noted from what I've been sharing and what are other precautions that we have to do to make sure that our Zoom classes are secure and they are efficient. Then after that, we shall come back and we share in plenary. So let us go to the breakout rooms. And then I'm going to be requesting the admins, in each group. So we shall be having some admin from someone from Itau to be able to share. So Mr. Dennis, you're going to be in room 1. Mr. God from Kisa, you're going to be in room 2. Henry, the computer guy, room 3. And then we are going to have George in room 4. Then we are going to have In room 5, we are going to have Goretty Nagawa. You are going to be the chairperson of room 5. Room 6, we have Ogal Isaac. Ogal Isaac has gone off, so you're going to have Joel Maluma, room 6, and yeah, so you'll be the chairperson for those particular rooms. We have Rose, room 7, Batia Kunyanga. Then we have Peace Proscovia in room 8. So here I'm seeing the different rooms. Moses Kasa in room 10. So let us go to the rooms, 5 minutes only, and then we can be able to come back. Hey, Dennis, was I audible? Okay, so members, we are here in this room. Dennis, you are the chairman here.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, members. So the way breakout room works is basically like a classroom group discussion. Like you can say, this group you do in that corner, this group, that's what Rogers did. And what we are doing in this group, those other 11 groups cannot hear what we are saying unless they reclaim, they get the class, Rogers get the class back together. Then we can share what we were talking about. Now, let's hear from you. What did you learn from Zoom control and all of that? Just unmute and then talk. Miriam Guapa Jr., you're welcome. So what did we learn from what Rogers just shared about Zoom controls, how to control the learners in the chat, their micro, all of that? What have we learned?
What I have learned, hello, this is Irene. I have learned that you can control the use of the annotation tab.
Yes.
You can control your students, the learners, by turning off their, okay, these are the things that you can turn on and turn off. Annotation tab, the survey and phone tab can be with before a meeting can start.
Yeah. can leave. I think you can see the leave button somewhere. So the learners can use the breakout room once they are done, or the hosts can be able to get the class back together by clearing the breakout room so that our learners can be able to get back to the class. So yeah, so this is breakout room. Anything else? Anyone else? Miriam from Breakout Parents.
Yes, hello everyone. This is Miriam from Breakout. I've learned how to share my screen within class, and I've also learned how to deal with animation. Thank you.
Thank you. Rogers, is our time almost up? Time's up.
Yes, Edwin, we have other groups are yet to conclude, so we're having like 2 minutes.
Yes,
Okay, members, welcome back.
We were still
Welcome
enjoying
back.
the session.
Hey, welcome back from the breakout rooms. I hope everyone is back. So I'm going to request the admins and the leaders of each group to share with us how the sessions went there, and we are going to be concluding. We are going to be learning more about Zoom. We know that we are going to end today. We shall be learning other things, but we shall be bringing in and we shall be making more tutorials about how to do Zoom, how to do the breakout rooms, all these things. We are going to send you the notes and the tutorials. So let me hear from the members. Mr. George Morut, how was your room?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, George.
Yeah, our session was actually interesting, though it was cut by time. We're still continuing with more members interested to give in their opinions, but we managed to record a few. As far as what you assigned us to do is concerned, and the first of all is to mute learners or participants such that there is no noise which is disturbing to everyone who is attending the session. But do you all hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, then the second opinion that came from our members is put a disturbing participant in the waiting room just to like kind of discipline the person such that the person can learn that he or she is not supposed to disturb the ongoing session. So that one is like a remedy to punish the person temporarily.
Okay.
And then the
Mr.
last,
George,
yes, please.
because of time, we just be giving like 1 point. Other people will give more points. Let me end there. So if someone has said something, you may not repeat it, just maybe anything that maybe you may not have talked about, you can be able to highlight it. Okay, let us hear from Mr. Dennis. Dennis or Mario.
I will request that Miriam from Grappa Parents represent me in our group and tell us what transpired in the group. Thank you. Miriam, you're welcome. Miriam, I request that Miriam from Grappa Parents Junior School tell us what transpired in a few minutes. Yes, Miriam, you're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Okay, in my group, we learned how to share the screen when dealing with our classes. We've also learned how to mute and unmute so that we can control the class to avoid the background noise. We've also learned about the issue of sending the learners into the waiting room in case there is any indiscipline case so that they can be disciplined that way. Lastly, we've also learned how to deal with the annotations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Wamono Micheal.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers and everyone here. In my group, probably at first I entered in as a participant. So we wasted a lot of time waiting for our admin who not join in. So I quickly had to ask and I took the assistance. However, in our group, members were still having a challenge on how do we sign up with our Zoom or how do we create the Zoom accounts using our phones now. So I was trying to share up my screen on my phone, directing them on how do we create that Zoom account using our phones, and maybe we do the scheduling of the meeting and all the settings using the phone. However, time caught us, and then the presentation was cut off. However, I promise with all other members in our WhatsApp group, we shall keep sharing this. For any concern, just keep posting, and then we shall get into your inbox and help you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Mukisa? Mr. Mukisa?
Thank you so much. For us in our group, we are able to find out the challenges and what we have learned and the challenges. One of the challenges is that sharing the PowerPoint or something using a phone or sharing the screen. So I promised members that we are going to create a video on that. And also they have learned a lot. It is a combination of people who have been using Zoom and others who have not used it. So whether we have been using it or not, we have come to learn that every time we are learning something new. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Peace Proscovia.
Hello, everyone. Yes, first of all, it was very interesting to also learn that we can be able to break away in groups. We actually wondered how we can do that, because that is also one of the things that is very good for learning. Otherwise, we highlighted several things, and many of them have been already mentioned. But maybe one of the things that I can maybe highlight that has not been said could be controlling the chat room, so that students don't just share everything anyhow, and limit it to yourself as the host, so that every chat that comes doesn't go to the class members. It comes to you as a host or as a teacher, so you can handle and let the students concentrate on the teaching. But several of the points have been mentioned.
Thank you very much, Peace.
Thank you.
Mr. Njala.
Rogers, I just joined the group minus knowing the whatever was there. But let me ask Joel, because I found Joel moderating the group. Joel, can you come in? Joel Maluma?
Thank you so much. This is Joel Maluma, chairperson of Group 3. In our group, we have pointed out what we have learned so far in the training. And one was presenting slides using smartphones. Then how the co-host can help to control the lesson when the teacher is teaching. Then thirdly, having the lesson or live streaming on YouTube. Then lastly, one member had worries, had missed the previous trainings, but Mr. Charles Lwanga came in from Italy. He promised to get us the recordings, of which the member is now assured of learning what had missed. Basically, that's what we had discussed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We are left with only 2 groups, and members shall be closing. Henry, the computer guy. Henry.
Yes, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, how was your group?
I was actually in Group 3.
Okay, that is nice.
Yeah.
Moses Kasa, you are the final one. If there's, I don't know if there's anyone I've forgotten, you can put up your hand. Any group which has not been represented, but after Moses, we shall be winding up.
Yeah, I see 2 hands already. Rose was forgotten, yes, and Goretty. So in my group, people took a lot of time. I think people had not connected their audio, so they took a lot of time connecting in, and I didn't know what was to go on. Then they also spotted a few challenges with the sign-up process. So as we were still working out that, boom, we got time code.
All right.
The links to the videos are available on the YouTube channel, and we're going to be sharing that channel to our WhatsApp forum so that we can catch up. To everybody who has issues, then you can inbox also the admin.
All right, let us get Goretty and Rose finally. So Goretty.
Thank you very much. The group was so lively. People joined even before me. I just found some already there. And we had to discuss issues like queries, questions, or dilemma we have. So the first person was asking like if maybe a phone has fallen in water or something like forming a co-hosting somebody. Was asking if we forgot like to co-host, can it be done after? And we discussed about it. So people were asking questions as well as others clarifying or answering others' queries. Then there was also a question on sharing video that somebody did not get it clear with the sharing video. May it be the same as you sharing on screen? So that one we may call for more clarification. Then another challenge also that was brought about is Zoom has so many terminologies. So a colleague was saying is a bit mixed up with the many terminologies, meeting, host, co-host. So he thinks that there is need for more clarification on them. Then lastly, somebody said that for him, he has a small screen. The phone is small. So the words come when they are very small. He struggles, but misses some of them. He cannot see the images very well. And this prompted me also to ask a question. Which type of phone is like at average as to us teachers that one can use, which is okay and at an average cost for these kind of activities? So we enjoyed our group and we were still proceeding, but anyway, we had to leave that room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Goretty. Let us get finally Rose.
Thank you so much. Most of the things have been mentioned, but in our room, members had concerns. One, because of network, they are lagging behind of network problems. And then there is one member who raised the concern of that this thing requires when you have ICT knowledge. But if you're a teacher and you lack ICT knowledge, it will be a challenge. So I said, I encouraged the members. I said, yes, even the ones who are teaching have started from scratch. You can also start from somewhere, and I believe we'll be there. Then there was a member who raised the concern of a challenge of recording the video, and she failed to put in the audio. That the video is there, but the audio is not there. So maybe you help to give more clarification on that one. Overall, the members were saying they need more light because some of them are still yet to pick up what the Zoom program is all about. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. We are taking note of this, and we are going to be making some tutorials to clear up on some of the issues, like how do you share video, how do you do some of these things. We may not be able to do them now, but we shall be able to cover them in the tutorials. Yeah, now there is someone, there is something that we were also supposed to share about, but time has gone, about how do you license, how do you get a licensed account, and how much can it cost? We have someone who is working with their partners with Zoom, and they offer schools plans where they can have licenses at a cheaper cost, because usually a Zoom license is, if you go to their website, you can be able to see the price. So personally, I've been buying Zoom licenses for some schools and also for myself. Yeah, but when you go to the website of Zoom, this is the last thing that I'm just winding up with. When you go to the website of Zoom, you find that if you don't pay for a licensed account, some of these things like breakout sessions breakout sessions and some of these other features, having an extended meeting like for more than 40 minutes, you cannot have them without having to pay. So when you go on the website of Zoom, you realize that there are a number of plans, So you find that there is a free plan, which is limited, but you can start with it. What I normally do with the free plans, because I were using free plans at first, you set up a recurring meeting, a meeting which is not ending, a recurring meeting. So after the 40 minutes, all of you, you tell your learners that you are going to jump off, but you click on the same link to rejoin. So we have been using that in some of the meetings in Itau before we could buy a license. Yeah, but if you are to buy a license, you will have to click on this other part. This is the 149 per year, but you can buy it in months, per month, and per month is around $15. Yeah, so you can be able to select that. It is $15, 14 point. So if you have to buy a license just for 1 month, it is $15. Now, buying it, you can use the your mobile money, MTN mobile money to buy. You don't need a credit card. MTN and Airtel, they came up with what you call, there's what you call Airtel MasterCard. MasterCard, it is available, anyone can use it. So you can search more about Airtel MasterCard. So basically, if you have an Airtel line, you have a MasterCard. A MasterCard is something that you can use to pay things online. So to activate the Airtel MasterCard, you just use the Airtel app, you install it, you'll be able to find an option for Airtel MasterCard, or you just go to the mobile man menu, *165#, and then you will be able to see an option for MasterCard. So you'll get a card number and a CVV code, which you can put in. Even MTN has it. For MTN, it is called MTN Momo card. So you can use your bank ATM card if you have one, or you can use these ones. You can search more about them. This one, you press *165*70#. So when you have mobile money, you have like, this is around 60,000. If you have 60,000 on your phone, you go to the mobile money, you get that card, they will give you the credentials, and then you go ahead and you purchase the license. So when you put in, if you say save or continue, it is going to ask you to add the things you say nothing, you don't want. These are the add-ons, there are a number of add-ons here. So you say you don't need, and then it will take you to a page where it is going to ask you to enter the MasterCard. So it will ask you to verify your name, your age, the year. Yeah, it will ask you some of these things. So you should be able to follow through. And then after that, you continue, and then it will reach a point where it is going to ask you to now here I've not logged in, that's why it is asking for these things. If I was logged in, to take me to the payment stage, and that's where it will ask for the MasterCard. Okay, so basically this process here, a person with IT can be able to do it, but if you are to buy licenses for a school, you don't need one license. If you have like for example, we are teaching from nursery up to senior 5, and we're using 5. You may need like 5 licenses or 4 licenses, a minimum. If you are you may need like 5 actually as a school minimum. So you find that that is 60,000 times 5, that is 300 per month. 60,000 times 5, that is 300 per month that you are paying to Zoom. And so if your learners are contributing some money towards the lessons, you should be able to plan for that. But we have someone, they give discounted tickets to schools, and is called Mr. Derek. I'm going to be asking him to just give us a short, how can we get more discounted licenses if we are to contact you and then you give us volume licensing from Zoom. Mr. Derek.
Thank you, Rogers. Members, I'm happy to be with you. Today I've spent a whole day with you with this team. Apart from the breaks, it was interesting to see that Rogers and his colleagues have at least put up a training to kind of break the myth and to give some knowledge to people in the education industry, some tips and tricks of how to use the platform for running their things. Of course, in my following, since morning, there's things that I've noted Though due to the interest of time, I may not go over them. But there are things that we've learned over the several customers that we've provisioned, both in the country and then out of the country. We have best practices, some answers to your questions here and there, but unfortunately, I wasn't given a chance to go over those, maybe some other time. But I'll just speak. Yes?
What's the name of your company?
It's called Edgeline Solutions.
Edgeline Solutions.
Yes.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I was unable to go over those, but I'll just speak just to one before I talk about licenses. We've just been in the breakout rooms, and those ones I can tell you, like, for example, a few things to note about them that may be of concern for you would be that the recording for breakout rooms is also a little bit tricky. You'll find that the breakout rooms are not recorded. They're not recorded by default. Then I'll also go and speak to a specific use case. So one of the licenses that we provide is a specific license for the education industry. It is geared specifically to educators, and it's called Zoom for Education. So one of the key differentiators, for example, in between it, still while speaking about breakout rooms, is that I will assume that the teacher is alone in class. Then if, for example, you happen to break away it could be a reason like network, what the Zoom for Education account will do as a default is to push the kids, the learners, or the participants into breakout rooms by default. That many educators have found it to be helpful, that your class will not be disorganized when you come back. So your network may have dropped, or your computer may have rebooted, whatever could have happened on your side. So if you happen to break out while you're in Zoom for Education, it will automatically go to breakout rooms. And that product in itself, I don't know how much time I was given, but it's a very amazing product that is specifically geared for school.
You have only like 3 minutes left now. It was 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so that is a product that I can speak the whole day about. But I saw the use case in here is maybe, so if you have a school and you want to run a Zoom program, you can come to us and then we'll provision. By the way, we then give it away for free, fully configured, depending on, we can discuss that further. So if you want an established school with, and you can be verified that your school, you can contact me to give your school a Zoom for Education plan. Then one other thing that I would say to you is that when you come to us and buy from us as partners, first of all, we give you a number of discounts. If, for example, you bought one license, we'd give you the second one for free. Then also would also give you at a cheaper rate, and the cheapness comes from the fact that Zoom appreciates we're in an emerging economy. We're kind of not that so rich, so the pricing that they give us is a little bit lower, and this is not what you'll get when you buy from the Zoom website. And then also, among other things that we'll do for you is that we'll give you training. So the kind of training that you've had today with Mr. Rogers and team, that comes as part of the package when you take us on as a partner. So we'll take up your institution or yourself into a fully fledged training program. My specialty is education tech, and I especially deal with education environment. So if, depending on whatever your strategy is, some people want to even have social distancing learning technologies where you want to teach, but still while implementing distance learning. You've seen what is happening in some of the highest education institutions where you can say, you know what, we're going to implement a hybrid program. Hybrid meaning that some learners are in school, some at home. So all those are some of the things that we can discuss. We can't exhaust them, but in a nutshell, we make sure that the Zoom platform works for you over the others. Then there's financing that is also there. Then devices also, we have a device program for institutions where we give you devices at a discounted rate. We have partnerships with Logitech and so many others, D10, and all these are geared towards the education industry. If you're a teacher working from home, that is also okay. So all I can say is that you have a Zoom provider in the country. Do not struggle to go around this solution of Zoom. If Zoom is what you feel that you want to use, even if you want to try it, please get in touch. We'll be able to help you. I don't know if I should put my number up here if the host allows me, or maybe the host will put it up, but I can.
Yes, you can post the number in the chat.
Yes, that would be very important, Derek.
Okay.
Yeah, you can post the number in the chat. So members, if you go to the website of Zoom, the official website, and you search for partners, you'll find Edgeline Solutions. They are certified partners of Zoom in Uganda. They are the only partners in Uganda, and they can help you to have better. Instead of you buying yourself a small license, then you find yourself, they even have integrations. They can be able to, if you buy yourself, but if you buy from them, you get it at discounted rates, and you can be able to get support directly from them regarding that. Okay, so members, I think that is all for today's session. I want to thank you very much for attending. And we have overshot by 25 minutes, although we started 10 minutes late. So that means we have overshot by 15 minutes. And I want to wish you a nice evening, all of you. Mr. Dominic, just give us a closing prayer. Okay, Mr. Dominic, you are unable to unmute. It's okay. Let me just pray, and yes?
Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Let's stand and we'll pray. Oh Lord Father, thank you very much for this session you have given us even today. Thank you for all the knowledge you have given our teachers or our tutors. Thank you very much for the trainers. Thank you very much, oh God, for the life, for the gift of life you have given us. I pray that you give us more life, oh Lord. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much for members for coming. You can say a bye-bye as we leave. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we shall be sharing more. Let us go in the Google Classroom. We try out the activity that Henry has, that Moses has put up, and we shall be able to link again tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be looking at the instructional content with Henry. Yes.
I want to inquire. Is it possible to join the other afternoon one if I can, if I want to change from this evening one to the afternoon session?
All sessions it's not optional. All sessions you have to join both sessions.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, members. Bye bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye. Welcome.
Bye bye. Nice evening.